To you. I'm Lauren Glassford.
I'm David Navarro, and now we begin with this story. It has to do with some new information that has just come in, and let me just check it in right here. A huge development tonight after the deadly touring helicopter crash in the East River. You know the story. The FAA tonight ordering choppers to remove their doors and use the harnesses to keep passengers locked in, to stop doing that from now on.
So those are the sort of touring helicopters like the one that went down in the East River. Jim Hoffer has that, as well as exclusive details about a safety device that could have possibly prevented that crash. Jim, he joins us now.
Lauren, well, past crashes of the AS-350 model helicopter could provide some clues to what brought down the helicopter on Sunday. The pilot's comments about the accidental fuel control being activated is raising new questions about these controls being placed on the floor and whether a simple plastic device should be now mandatory in these aircraft. When this AS-350 helicopter crashed in 2008 in Alaska, the NTSB initially concluded it was caused by a passenger's backpack bumping the fuel control lever on the floor, causing a loss of engine power. 5 years later, the NTSB changed that finding, blaming an engine mechanical problem. Nevertheless, it exposed a real vulnerability with critical fuel controls mounted on the floor of the AS-350. It prompted some modifications. Last Sunday, when an AS-350 plunged into the East River, the pilot reportedly told rescuers a passenger's strap or bag accidentally activated the fuel emergency switch. Although it's still not determined, the crash has again raised questions about the critical controls on the floor of AS-350s, especially the fuel emergency lever.
It's fairly easy to pull it back, and that's intentional in case of an emergency. So just a simple tug would be sufficient to move it back towards the shutoff position.
And if that's moved back, what happens?
As soon as that's pulled back, you cut off the fuel to the engine.
In 1995, Canadian investigators blamed the crash of an AS-350 medical copter in part on the accidental movement of a fuel flow control lever, which caused a total loss of engine power. Our investigation has learned that to prevent this, the manufacturer, Airbus, gives buyers of the AS-350 the option to install this plexiglass shield.
Without this being there, you're left with, an unfettered ability again for a strap to get down and caught on the fuel shutoff valve and cause an engine failure.
As this picture shows, and our investigation is confirmed, the Liberty helicopter that crashed did not have the safety shield. One source who worked at Liberty telling us neither the helicopter that crashed nor other AS-350s operated by Liberty has the safety shield.
If that's not there, you've certainly dramatically increased the risk.
If the NTSB determines that, as the pilot first reported, the fuel lever was inadvertently activated, the safety agency may recommend that these optional fuel guards be mandatory. Or they may go so far as to recommend that the fuel controls be mounted on the dashboards of AS-350s, like most other helicopters, including Newscopter 7.
There's no way we could ever shut off that fuel valve. We'll show you where it is. It's all the way over on the pilot's side, so we would literally have to reach across him, lift up the safety latch, and then put off the valve.
The manufacturer, Airbus, provides the control guard as an option to buyers of the AS-350. They also now give buyers the option to have the fuel controls mounted on the dash of their new copters. Meanwhile, tonight, as mentioned earlier, the FAA says that it is banning doors-off helicopter flights that involve these harnesses that are difficult for passengers to release in an emergency. The exact kind of harness worn by those passengers on that doomed flight on Sunday. Back to you.